Hello YouTubers and welcome to another episode here in New York City. Today we get to go onto the water and we're going to talk some rowing wisdom with Al Morrow, who is here, Canadian Olympic coach. A lot of experience, so really want to get to talk to him and let you guys hear what he has to say about rowing, what it has to offer athletes who row. But first things first, we get on the bus here and get to the Columbia Rowing Boat House. So let's get to it.
Here's my man. Little silver kiosk.
It's cool though, isn't it? I like that.
I guess I'm just excited because it's kind of what I was expecting here.
Exactly what you would be able to see the
You can see that slide. How many of you going?
And we've made it to the boat house here on this lovely, gorgeous, sunny day to get on the water. So we're going to warm up, get Anderson, getting everyone geared and getting ready to go, and then get on the boats to get onto the water. And we've made it off the water. We're now making our own Gatorade with some fresh lemons and mint and all that in the water, instead of just straight water, with Anderson back there helping out. But now it's time to fuel up after the session, because remember, food is fuel. And we've got some delicious sandwiches to fuel up after the session this afternoon. We're with Patrick here, watching around. Anderson's going to teach a little bit about taking care of yourself while you're sitting too much. Yes. Or while not recommending not sitting too much, or even on the occasions when you have to sit, what can you do to help out your body? And then we're going to have the coaches one-on-ones, where it is one-on-one with the camper and the coach to discuss any questions that they might have about university or rowing in general, or just anything like that. Yeah. So it can be pretty interesting. But now, look at this. Everyone learning about taking care of their bodies. Oh yeah! After fueling up once again, it's time to go back on the water for our second session today, and then we get to talk to Al Morrow about some awesome wisdom from a man with a lot of experience. I'm really excited to talk about that. But like I said, we're getting on the water for some more exciting rowing here in New York. Oh yeah. And we have made it off the water here in New York once again. A really awesome session, really awesome to see the campers sort of buy in to what's being said and then adjust and improve throughout the session. But now, obviously after the session, we have to go fuel up because food is fuel. So we're going to hop on the bus back to campus, and then we're going to find Al Morrow to have, or to gather some of his wisdom and see what he has to say about what he's done and how that can help here at Sparks Rowing Camps. Oh yeah. And we've made it back here into the dorms for a coaching rest time after sort of coaching on the water with the kids, with the campers, and having their time with the PL groups. And I'm here with one of the most experienced coaches that I've ever had the pleasure of spending time with. Would you like to introduce yourself to the viewers, to the vlog?
Well, Missy, thanks for your kind comments. I'm Al Morrow. I'm a longtime Canadian national team coach, and having a great time here working as one of the Sparks Camp staff members. My experience in coaching includes the many years with the national team, but also coaching at a lot of levels from high school to university.
Absolutely, and it's also like the well, I've been coached by Jurgen Grobler at the GB level, and I would say you're on that level with the Canadians women's side. Would you say something?
I'm not
like
sure
that?
if Jurgen Grobler would like to hear it that way, but yeah, I did have a lot of success, but more back in the 90s and early 2000s with national team women in Canada.
Absolutely awesome. So we're sort of we're looking at you for a little bit of wisdom from all of your experience that you've gathered over the years. And so looking across that wisdom over the years, what would be the favorite Olympic story that you've had that you could sort of share with campers now or campers that might come here?
Well, it's really interesting. That actually did not happen at the Olympics. It happened after I returned from the Sydney Olympics in 2000. And the whole games in Sydney were really exciting. The Australians did a great job organizing the games. But basically it happened after I got home when my son at the time, who was 8 years old, asked me to be show and share at his public school and come to his class and talk to him about the Olympics. And I went into the class and it was really neat. The whole back wall was covered with Olympic articles from the local newspaper, and there was all kinds of Olympic theme things going on and there was stuff about the geography of Australia and politics in Australia and Aboriginals and so on. And it just struck me that almost became my favorite Olympic moment, to see the enthusiasm of these grade 3 children about the Olympics. And I brought out at the time we were sponsored by Roots, and I brought out my Roots clothing gear, and some other Olympic memorabilia, and the kids just loved this. They thought it was so exciting, and it actually ignited more than going to the games, which is kind of a business, and you go in there and you try to do the best, and it's very serious, and there are fun times, of course, but it's all about trying to win a medal. And went home and I just saw this incredible excitement among these younger children, and it was actually my favorite Olympic moment. And being back home with my family, of course, but also enjoying the Olympic spirit far away from the Olympics.
So just sharing that with people and sharing
it was so neat.
Yeah,
and it was neat to see their enthusiasm and their excitement about the games.
So it was just inspiring a generation kind of thing.
Totally, yeah, and that's essentially what was happening. You had these young children really just into it and really inspired by it and excited, and then of course indirectly excited to meet me because I had just been at the Olympics. And the Olympics were still going on because rowing is a first week sport. And I was home by the time of the second week of the Olympics. So Olympics was still on, and 24 hours television and so on, and everyone was still very involved in it. It was actually the second Tuesday of the Olympic Games by the time I got home. So there was still almost another week of activity going on. So that kind of added to the excitement.
It must have been a privilege for those people, and obviously you sharing that story hopefully
it was so much fun.
Can inspire some of you, and maybe like I'm trying to get back and get to the Olympics one day. You've been there as well.
Yes.
So it's amazing to see, and hopefully maybe someone watching will eventually be at Olympics, whether it is for rowing or for any other sport.
It is a unique thing to do in sport, and it's the best of the best in many sports, and it's also a lot of fun. It's a really neat thing to see.
And so we'll finish off with a sort of classic question that some people might ask about sort of since using your experience. If you were to go back to sort of 15, 16, 17 and come to a camp like this, if you had one piece of advice to give yourself at that age so you could sort of use the opportunity you're given to its fullest, what would that piece of advice be?
Well, initially I wish I could have done it. These camps didn't exist when I was 16. I would have really loved to have done it because and what I think I would have loved to have done is meet all the people here, because there's people from all over the country. In some cases, the Sparks camps are all over the world. I wish I would have been more open-minded and ready to learn, because there's just so many creative ideas here and neat things and neat people to meet, a variety of successful coaches. So I kind of wish I would have had that opportunity to do that and learn so much and be maybe almost more open-minded to learn if I could go back in time. It's easy to say that now. You don't sometimes think about that when you're 16 or 17.
But it's like some of the things I say to the people who watch the vlogs. It's sort of doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing. Someone else is probably wishing they could do what you're doing. So for us, we're here in New York and we're getting an opportunity to coach.
Right.
And some people could wish they're in here coaching, or say we're on the river this morning, who and some people wish they were on there watching some people row, or even in the boats and just having that sort of opportunities that we get the other people, so seizing that opportunity is
That's
probably
right.
what I
Exactly
would say,
right.
yeah.
Yes.
And so that's our chat. Thank you very much for
Thank you.
taking the time, and hopefully you guys enjoyed a little bit of a chat with a rowing legend from Canada.
Thank you.
And that'll be it. Thank you very much,
Yes.
Al.
Yeah,
And
all the best.
that will be it for today's episode. Another one tomorrow will be based on the 2Ks. So we'll be sort of overseeing the 2Ks of the guys here at Sparks Rowing Camps. So that'll be an interesting one. But as always, Yam Squad, remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button and have a good one. Thank you very much.
Thank you.